Your camera's gone. I'll have to fix your camera. Hold on. I got to do it anyway.
We'll get started in just a second. Working on a camera situation. Thought we were good, but we're not. So we will be in a second. Ole Miss currently sitting against Marquette. Halftime, Rebels up 36-31 over the Eagles. Just starting the second half, and that one, Ole Miss shot 50% from the field in the first half, 55% from three, 100% from the line because of 2 of 2. Marquette went 5 of 6 from the line. The Rebels led by as many as I saw 12, so it was higher than that. I'm not aware of it, but I know they were up by at least 12. Yeah, largest lead was 12, 17-5 there in the first half. Their largest run, they were up 8-0 to start the game. So at this moment, Jarkel Joyner and Nasir Brooks both have 8 points. Rodriguez and Crowley 6 apiece, and then Brakefield with 4 for the Rebels in this one. So kind of where we're at.
I think you're still stuck. I'm working on it. I don't know what the deal is. Yeah, you're stuck.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll fix it.
Okay. So we're just kind of hanging out until we get this repaired. Hope everybody's been doing well today. What are we watching? What's on the television? Are the people drinking? What are you drinking? Give me some updates on the stream on what's going on. We good now?
I think we're good.
Okay.
I almost hate to say the words. So welcome into the hand raise, guys.
Audition file going.
I just hit the button on audition, so I think we're good. Brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Same great products, same services, just different names. If you live in the Oxford or Tupelo area, it's Comer, 662-801-1777. If you live in the Hernando area, DeSoto County, Memphis, that area, it's the Southern, I should say, 662-429-4429. Appreciate them sponsoring this show. We'll take calls later on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. Rafters Music and Food on the Square in Oxford. Be a great place to stop over the course of the weekend. We're in the Clark Ford Studios. 662-257-1900 is the number. Call it, ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. And Chase, what's going on at Oxford Exxon?
We're still trying to take some photos. Everybody out there, you're coming to town this weekend, you need to go over there. You need to take a selfie, whatever you want from blue sky in the background. When you do that, you're automatically entered into a chance to win an Ole Miss football helmet. If you hashtag Blue Sky Rebels and you tag the Oxford Exxon, you will be automatically entered into a chance to win that. So do that when you come into town. Also, you might as well go ahead and download the Speed Pass Plus app, because when you get here, you probably need some fuel. You'll earn points. You'll save some money there with all Blue Sky locations in Mississippi, up, down I-55, and in Oxford.
Don't forget about the Dead Soxy score sale for this week's Ole Miss game against Vanderbilt. At the conclusion of Saturday's game, however many points Ole Miss has scored, Dead Soxy will match that number as a percentage discount up to a max of 60% off. The score sale will run from the conclusion of the game until midnight on Monday, November the 22nd. So load up on your favorite stocking stuffers and score this incredible offer. Visit deadsoxy.com. Use the promo code SCOREREBELS, that's one word, all lowercase, at checkout to receive the score sale percentage off of all orders. As always, stay Soxy.
Marquette cut it to 2 now. Rebels 36-34 at the 19-20 mark.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that I've been locked into this game. It's been a full day, and I had some stuff going on, and so I haven't. Nice little move by Brakefield right there with the potential and one. So 19-11 to go in Charleston. Ole Miss up 38-34 with Jamin Brakefield going to the line.
Neal's going to give running play-by-play for the next hour, and then we'll get on with the show.
So we got a lot of content up on the site. Let's see what we've got. We did a soft verbal podcast. The special guest was Chase Parham of rebelgrove.com. He was kind enough to join.
See, my quotes have already made rebelgrove.com in the meantime. So.
Yeah, they picked out something you said, which is good. I always like it when they pick on someone other than me. We did a kind of a war room, an audio war room is what I'm calling it, because I thought it was pretty good. We took some questions, did about 45, 46 minutes. He traveled. Yeah, you can't do that. You can't you can't take a step before you put the ball down. That was brought to you by the College Corner. The College Corner is your one-stop Rebel shop. 2 locations in the Jackson area, one in Ridgeland, one in Flowood. You can also go to collegecornerstore.com to check them out. Got a Mind on My Money up that's brought to you by Pinnacle. It's mypinwealth.com. It's a pretty good show. I didn't realize that I had touched on a very emotional life chord for Martin Palomo. Ended up being a really good show. We were talking about
not finances today.
No, we talked about we were talking about Thanksgiving, and we ended up, 2 of the kids who lost their parents in that plane crash in years ago. Mm-hmm. 2 of those boys are on Carson's OHS soccer team.
Oh, really?
And I always think about them when I see them. I mean, every time. It's one of the Perry boys and one of the Faris boys. And I always think about them and kind of wonder, what life is like. I always have a tremendous admiration for them. And I didn't remember that Martin's father had died in a plane crash when he was 11 years old.
Oh, really?
And so it led to a conversation. So that's there. That's brought to you by Pinnacle. And then what else do we have? Feels like there's more. The Butcher versus the Spin Instructor is up. Brought to you by LB's Meat Market, 2008 University Avenue in Oxford. All the freshest cuts. Both Greg and Campbell had big weeks last week, better than either of the people sitting here right now. So can't really make fun of them. And let's see. Oh yeah, Neal's Picks, brought to you by Service Specialist. That's up as well. If you want to decide,
you want to fade us. You probably have a hell of a week.
Yeah.
That's kind of the portion of the proceedings we're at right now.
Because we suck. I mean, I really sucked. I went 3-8 last week.
Did you really go 3-8?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I've sucked the last 2 weeks and made up ground on you. That's what you're saying.
I think we're tied at this point.
Really?
Jeffrey's beginning to run away.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of tied, Marquette just tied up Ole Miss 42-42, 17:40 to go. On TV2, we've got UAB South Carolina. UAB's down 12 with the ball, 15:50 to go. More college basketball than Chase has watched in a long time, probably since the tournament.
So Matt Jones asked for a recipe for smoked prime rib. I got a buddy that did it last year at Christmas. I knew that. I had to scroll through a lot, but I found it. I'll let him out himself on the board if he wants to and give some of the recipe stuff away. But so let's see. Trying to find a way.
I'm not a big prime rib person, so
really?
I'm the wrong person to ask here. It's fine. I would never order it at a restaurant or whatever. I'm going to turn off this iPad. I have no idea why suddenly is beeping.
The iPad? Said it did on the egg with the plate in 300 for about 3 hours. Got up to 120 internal and then pulled it to rest. Perfect medium rare on that was the way to do it. So, yeah, between 275 and 300, 2.5 to 3 hours, pull it around 120 on a smoked prime rib. I really like prime rib, so it makes sense.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
How do you like it with like
a horseradish cream sauce or something?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Something like that. You struggling?
Nope. I'm getting something done here. Everybody bear with me.
What's wrong?
Oh, nothing's wrong. A friend of mine, the Williams Reed Foyer, that's in the complex, right?
Yeah.
The Manning Center. Okay.
Yeah. It is.
I'm sending a friend a message.
Okay. We're just hanging out. It's Thursday night.
It's okay.
Catching up in the stream a little bit. Ooh, is it really powder blue helmets on a Navy jersey?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. They're doing 38 on the helmets, though. We're doing a Chucky game.
Oh, so they're going to go gray pants?
Yeah. I'll ask and see what was rubbed from the gentleman who gave me the recipe.
Ole Miss is doing a really nice thing for a friend of mine, so I'm passing the instructions along.
And I'm asking to get your question answered, Matt, about the prime rib. What goes on it beforehand? Okay, so we're doing Chucky. Oh, okay, it's kind of a Chucky uniform. That makes sense. But if we're doing white, it's got to be gray pants then, right? Or is it white pants? Because it's white pants, we're not doing a Chucky uniform. Kenneth Morgan, thank you for the super chat. He said, love hand-raised guys, but I hope we don't spend the next couple hours listening to fans scream about Kiffin leaving. LOL. Did y'all show?
Yeah,
we're
sure show.
Just here.
I can't control who calls and what they say.
Bagman, Ole Miss keeping the streak of allowing a random player from the opposing team to have a career night. That's called the Zolman effect from back in the day when the quarterback at Vanderbilt would seemingly do that every season. That's what that is in the lexicon. Yeah, can we confirm the pants? Are they white or are they gray? What are we doing? I would assume gray. I mean, otherwise it doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense.
Okay, I got that done.
You good now?
Yeah. You know, sometimes I can be not particularly social as well. I mean, like,
if it had stripes on the pants, they're gray. I can go ahead and answer that question.
Yeah, because the white pants don't have stripes.
Yeah. I guess Marquette's going to run here. Yeah, okay. 45-44 Eagles.
It's Sammy Hunter in the lineup right now with Joyner. Looks like Allen, Luis Rodriguez, who just launched a 3 and missed. Back tapped by, I don't know who that was.
He wanted to pull up right there for a second. About
Sammy with
feet.
the back tap. I always keep waiting for Sammy to be a really impactful player because he's got a really good skill set. There's a lot to his game. He just hasn't completely put it together just yet.
I spell gray with an E. I don't know. I mean, I just do. I'm British in that way. It's always Grey for me. I almost, to the point that I know I'm weird and eccentric because I know Gray is more American, but it bothers me even when I see it that way. It's EY.
I'm trying to think what I do. I don't know which one I do. I think I interchange them.
You have to almost like type it out.
I've never thought about it. Because Earl Grey tea is Grey. Okay. But I guess I think if you say, hey, their team is wearing the road gray, I think Gray. But if I think of a person's name is Gray, I think Gray.
Okay.
And I think I've written road grays before with the E.
Yeah, neither are correct. One's more British than the other. EY is a UK one primarily. AY is typically more American.
Now I'm totally in my head about how I've done this over the years. Have I interchanged the word?
I always do blonde with an E. I never say BLOND. I always say BLOND.
Yeah, I've always put an E on blonde. But BLOND is accurate as well. Is that correct?
Apparently, according to the stream.
Grind says, Neal, you and Jeffrey talking about jobs on the pregame show. So Virginia Tech isn't the best job in their division. They've had more success in the ACC than Miami. If Virginia Tech isn't a top 15, is Miami? I couldn't tell you how they do the divisions in the ACC. To me, the ACC has become borderline irrelevant other than Clemson. And look, this whole Kiffin thing, I knew when I wrote this last night that it would be completely misinterpreted. And it was and has been, to the point of I feel like I just can't get the toothpaste back into the tube. And it makes me never want to write another thing again. I didn't say he would take the job. I said, in fact, that I thought he would stay.
Yeah.
I said that he was intrigued. Intrigued became interested, which are different words.
They are.
They're similar words, but they're different words.
Intrigued is lighter than interested.
But if I say, hey, I'm intrigued, that is not the same as I'm interested. If there's a job out there and I say, well, that's intriguing.
It means you might want to hear a little more.
Yeah, I might want to listen.
Yeah. Give me a call.
Interested means I do want to talk to you about this job.
One is, if you really want to talk to me, sure, I'll listen. One is, hey, I'm going to find you.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested in this job enough that I'm going to search out some stuff and I'm going to find out who I need to talk to and I'm going to send them something.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
If you want to talk about it.
Maybe I'd listen. I don't know. If you want to talk about the job, we can talk about the job. Those are not the same words, but everybody interchanges them. Well, they have different meanings. Words have meanings.
You mean some people mess up the connotations of words in the English language?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to say to you. Yes, that is precisely
especially this language where I didn't know we were doing this today. English, in general, has very few synonyms because almost every word difference has a different connotation to it. It has a more positive or negative or something. Like there are very few actual synonyms in the English language that mean exactly the same thing. 2 words.
Okay.
My point being, you're right, because like everybody would go, "Oh, well, yeah, you said that." Well, I did, but there is a difference. There's an extreme version of that. Is what there is. Yeah, I would say 5 was interested, Paul. I think that's fair.
Yeah. 5 was not intrigued.
Yeah,
he was interested.
Yeah.
Had he been intrigued, he might have said, well, I'm not going to go to Birmingham to talk to you, but if you want to call me, I might have a conversation. He was interested enough to go to Birmingham.
You got to be pretty in.
And those 2 words have different meanings.
Yeah.
Ron says, like, disdain. Can you deign something?
Shopping cart, buggy. In some parts of the country, they call it a carriage. Oh, I mean, seriously, all credit to anybody who learns English as a second language because of how screwed up this language is on understanding the differences in words. Much harder than most languages.
Oh, can you imagine?
I mean, all the colloquialisms and all the stuff, and I mean, yeah, you're.
Well, the there. Think of how many people who live here who still screw up lose and loose.
And they've been doing this for a while.
And 2 O's is always ooh. Always, right?
Well, always is hard. Don't be careful in the English language. Say always to anything.
But 2.
We learned
2
in
O's
elementary
is
school.
2.
Think how dumb it is that we go I before E except after C, except these 9 different words that are not. Like, well, thanks. Let me like. Yes, it's a shopping cart, Jennifer.
Oh, and
You're
Jennifer
correct.
says it's pop.
I say soda.
Yeah, I say soda. Yeah.
I don't know if that's me like rebelling against people say Coke. I don't really know why I do that, but I do.
All right, Jennifer,
I've said Coke.
don't press your luck here. She says book, took. She's a good point. Damn it.
They really go the whole season without wearing red? They didn't wear red against LSU?
No, they were powder blue, remember? Everybody
right.
lost their minds.
Yeah, sorry. That's right.
It almost ruined the day for people.
That's right. Soft drink is allowed. Yeah. Okay, you're in Chicago. I'll give you pop. I'll make fun of you, but I'll give it to you.
Yeah. Now, I will say one thing that Southerners do is when they go, hey, it's Coke. And then you find out that it's not Coke, it's Sprite.
Well, yeah.
No.
It's a very normal Southern thing. Hey, I want a Coke. Okay, what kind?
But Coke means
I
Coca-Cola.
understand that.
Ginger says they wore red against Tulane.
Okay.
I don't know. She's asking.
I thought they had won it earlier in the year, but it's all running together at this point.
I think they wore red against Tulane.
Or Austin P.
What did they wear against Austin P?
I don't.
They were Navy against Austin P, right?
Did they?
With white pants.
I don't know.
Bagman says red against Tulane, orange pop Coke.
Orange Pop Coke.
Red against Tulane. I think they wore Navy against
They wore
Austin
Navy
P
against Austin P. I have pictures.
with white pants and the Navy helmet,
Yeah.
which is a good look
They wore red against Tulane.
with the gray pants or white pants. White pants and powder helmet.
White and powder, yes.
So the traditionalists are finally getting the gray pants.
All right, so
This is going to be the closest that a group of older men have stared at younger men's pants in a long time, right?
Yeah, this is it. All right, so my buddy wrote back, Matt. If you want to try this, you smoke a prime rib again. If you want to give it a shot at Thanksgiving, it says 24 hours before he'll French the bones. He also points out that if you get it from Greg at LB's, he'll do it for you, and he'll tie it tight with butcher twine in between each bone so it has a nice round shape. So if you'd like to use LB's for that, I'd be happy to do that. It says then I dry brine it with kosher salt and coarse black pepper, and then he just uses a generic steak seasoning that you can get at Kroger back there by the butcher case. And again, goes 275 to 300 on the egg for about 3 hours, internal to 120. Pull it off, let it sit to medium rare, and then serves it with a homemade horseradish.
Do you cover it with foil when you pull it?
I'll ask. I have no idea.
Because sometimes with the brisket, you'll pull it and put it in a cooler.
Because I mean, that's a pretty good. That's a good temperature change. You got to get it from 120 to 135 at rest. That's a pretty good rest.
That's a 30-minute rest.
Yeah, that's a take a minute.
Frankly, you're going to have to put it in some sort of. I would think you would have to put it in some sort of insulation if you would to keep that heat going.
Steakhouse seasoning from Amazing Taste is what he's recommending. So it's back by the butcher case at Kroger's where he gets it. He's answering now about whether or not to cover. We're doing food and English tonight. Hand raise, guys. Sort of kind of watching basketball.
Ty Fagan gives Ole Miss some energy off the bench, which I think is a good thing. I didn't think they really had a lot of bench energy last year, and if they can keep him coming off the bench, the Georgia transfer, I do think that's an element that they did not have a year ago. I don't know who started tonight, but if Brakefield and Fagan come off the bench as the 6th and 7th men, those are two pretty energetic players coming off, which I think is important because sometimes if you start a game flat, if you bring in bench guys who – traditionally are energy.
It'll pimp everybody else back up a
yeah,
little
it's
bit.
kind of like a microwave. You don't remember this probably. Vinnie Johnson used to come off the Pistons bench, and they called him the microwave because he could heat up in a hurry.
Yeah. On those title teams.
Yeah, with Isaiah Thomas. And
89-90?
Sounds about right.
Didn't Jordan go 91 to 93 or 92 to 94?
I don't know.
Well, not 94 because that's the Knicks.
Yeah, so
The Rockets.
yeah, because that was the
yeah.
OJ year.
Yeah.
They want more Kiffin. I don't know. Here's the thing.
It says before he puts it on, rubs it with olive oil and reapply the seasonings, and then yes, tin it but not cover it tightly.
Okay.
Says what it is.
To keep some heat in there.
Says makes a horseradish cream sauce. It's awesome, but maybe too much on the mayo spectrum for y'all.
Yeah,
That's what he says. So
no.
you not interested?
No.
You all good there?
No. But I don't like a lot of sauces with meat in general. I think it can overpower the meat.
It can. That's one though that.
Look, I don't know what Ole Miss is going to offer. My guess is in the $7 million range, and I think Lane will take it. I don't know what Miami's going to do. There's reports out there that Miami is going to invest a bunch of money in football. I don't know what a bunch of money means. And when someone says $30 million, how much of that is going towards the coaching staff? How much of that is going to an analyst staff? I don't know. I don't know these things. And as of this particular moment, Manny Diaz is not fired.
He's still hanging out.
So it's impossible to exactly know what's going to happen. I mean, look, I talked to someone today who said he thinks there could be 23 to 25 openings by the time the carousel turns. 23 to 25.
No shit.
Yeah, no shit. Exactly. There is so much smoke around Lincoln Riley that you can't just completely deny it. I mean, I'm told, you know who I'm told Oklahoma would target, by the way? It's not Heupel. Jay Norvell.
Jay Norvell.
At Nevada.
Yeah.
Is that true? I don't know. And there's so much stuff out there, and it's so easy for stuff to fly out there right now because everybody still has games to play.
We're in the weird vacuum, everybody in a hurry portion of the season.
We're in the portion of the coaching search deal where when it happens early like this, it allows a lot of leverage to be used. And anybody who makes fun of leverage, you've never been in a business operation.
It is what it is.
So you can use leverage, and people who are sources, and it's not everybody always assumes that a source is an agent.
That's not true.
It's not always true. Not even close to always true. But a lot of times people can put out partial truths. Not a bold-faced lie, but a partial truth. Where something is basically true, but you're missing something. Or as one person said, hey, look, this is what the truth is right now, but it could change 10 times. You know, if you're Keith Carter and you sit down with Lane Kiffin in the next week and a half after the Egg Bowl's over, what is it that you want from Lane? What is it that Lane wants from you?
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the answers to those questions. Does Keith say, hey, what I want is a $10 million buyout? Does Lane say, I'm not doing that? Do you leave exceptions for certain schools? I mean, how do you work all of that out? And then, you know, these people have representation. They talk to their representation. Does Miami decide? Like you and I were talking in the driveway today when you were leaving after the Soft Verbal podcast. You know, Miami hasn't really spent like this in football in 15 years. Is that a fair number? Give or take a couple years?
That's absolutely every bit of it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have they decided that all of a sudden, by God, they're going to? I don't know. I'm not down there. Like I said this morning, I'm not sourced on Miami. Then you see and by the way, if anybody ever, if I ever say, hey, I've got a scoop, I want somebody to shoot me. Like, just take me out. Take me out. If I ever use that word.
We do McCready
scoops.
In large letters.
I want to be shot.
Okay.
I deserve it, and I want to be shot at that moment. So I don't know the Slater guy. Is he right? I don't know. I can't sit here and tell you, Chase, that this guy is an imbecile. An idiot. I don't know that.
Or that he's a genius.
And I can't tell you that he's locked in. I don't know.
He covers the NFL is what he does. That's all I got.
So is it possible that he stumbled across a, quote, scoop, end quote? Yeah, sure. Is it likely? Probably not. Is it possible that he heard a half-truth? Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the folks that know Lane's inner thoughts is an incredibly small number. I mean, I won't even need a full hand. So it's not like Lane's around telling everybody in the world, hey, that's what I'm doing. Like, no.
But, you know, look, the Lincoln Riley thing, do I think it's a totally incorrect? I do not. I'll tell you, you want to hear a crazy? So I'm going to phrase all this as things I hear.
Sure.
I'm not vouching for these things. I don't have the time. My day today was pretty documented, right?
You're literally in front of a camera for most of it.
But I heard today.
Otani, by the way, won the thing. So
unanimously.
They lost that $1 million.
Yeah, he won unanimously. Bryce Harper won the NL MVP.
Go ahead.
So, again, I'm not vouching for this. But I had a source tell me today, who I've known for a long time, that LSU has been cleared to go as high as $15 million per year to get their guy. Now,
It
do I
makes
believe
no sense.
it doesn't make sense? But do I believe that? So does that make me wonder if the $12.5 million a year rumor is true? It does. It makes me wonder. Gosh, maybe. What LSU discovered this year, Chase, is that losing is too expensive. Losing is too expensive.
I understand.
And so what does that mean? I mean, so when people say, where are you? Like, if I knew for an absolute fact at this moment that Lane Kiffin was leaving, and I absolutely don't, but if I did, I would be in the portion of the coaching search reporting where I was prepared to get lied to every morning, 4 or 5 mornings in a row. You've watched me do this before. You just get lied to a little bit, and you have to deal with it and move on. It's too early to say. So is there some smoke about Kiffin? Yeah, because why? Because I believe what I was told, what I basically reported last night, which is Miami is almost certainly going to come open. Lane is a target, and he's intrigued. Not interested, intrigued.
There's a point where football salaries don't make sense, as in you literally can't make enough to make it justifiable. In the difference between what that coach, like that number is stupid.
Well, like on our board today, someone goes, "Pay him $10 million." I'm like, "Whoa, hold up, why? Why would you pay him $10 million? How would you justify that?" I mean, at that point, you would be like, "Hey, look, best of luck." Because you could get a real quality coach for $3 million less than that.
Yeah, it's stupid.
You could you could change. Yeah, you could. Yeah, it's not. Wouldn't even be smart. Ole Miss and Marquette, by the way, tied 8:14 to go.
Yeah,
57-57. Matthew Morrell with the drive. That was impressive.
That was a good. That's a drive right there. Now.
That's what he's got to do, because I think Marquette thought he was going to settle for the 3, and that's not his game. His game is to be physical and athletic and drive to the rim, and he did it just then. Matthew says, if LSU offered Lane $20 million a year, would he go? Well, of course. I mean,
anyone might go.
Yeah, they might even be able to get Saban at that price. Look, LSU's not going to fall all the way to Kiffin. It's just not. If it did, I think Lane would take the LSU job. So I do. I think if the LSU job were offered to Lane Kiffin, I think he would take it, and that's sourced.
But it's irrelevant. You can't get it. So.
But it's irrelevant because he can't get it.
I'm still stuck on this 15 thing.
I mean,
I can't see a balance sheet that makes it make sense.
It's an idiotic amount of money to pay the head football coach at an SEC school.
Yeah, like
Marquette up 3 now, 7 to go.
He would have to be Nick Saban to even make the money back.
Yeah, if you told me it's $15 million, okay, and that number's too high, but if you told me it was in the ballpark of $15 million, I would tell you that Scott Woodward got Jimbo Fisher. I would not hesitate. If
my AD wanted to pay Jimbo Fisher $15 million, I would cease being a fan of that school. It'd be the dumbest thing in the history of sports. I mean,
who would you give $15 million to?
Damn near nobody.
Because Saban's 70 now. I would not give it to Saban now.
I mean,
he's 70.
I'm viscerally bothered right now. Is
there anyone, Pete Carroll? Is there anyone you would give?
Pete Carroll makes $14 million right now in Seattle. So yeah, you could give him a bump.
Give him an extra $1 million and let him be your coach.
The top 4 coaches in professional sports. Would you like to guess?
All sports?
Forget soccer, I don't know, but at least like the main.
So give me what are my parameters? Basketball,
baseball, football, hockey, whatever.
Okay. Well, Pete Carroll's one.
He's number 1.
Okay.
$14 million.
Professional sports. I'm trying to do this where there's not like long pauses.
You're fine. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I can read the list in 4 seconds.
Bobblefish guesses Tomlin, but that doesn't feel right.
He's not on my list. I mean, hell,
Okay.
I don't.
That doesn't feel right. I'm guessing Tomlin makes $7 or $8 million a year. I don't know.
I only have the top 4. That's all I got. So
I'm sure
I
he can
don't
pay
know.
his electric bill. It's not Madden. It's not. Give me a sport.
Football, basketball.
Football, basketball. So Belichick.
Hold on. Let me see where he's at. Never mind. I apologize. He is number 1. Belichick makes $18 million.
Damn.
Yeah.
So Carroll's 2.
So I have the top 5, and Carroll's 2.
Okay. Man, I have no idea.
Pete Carroll. Sean Payton.
Oh, okay.
Andy Reid.
Okay.
Greg Popovich.
What's Pop make?
It's like 11 and a half, 12, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Yeah, and good point I just got from somebody. Think about the NFL TV deals and how much more money it is than any college TV deal. And that's still all they're paying their head coaches.
Yeah, it's insanity.
So hold on.
It's totally
Y'all
insanity.
are bringing in millions and millions and millions more, but let me pay you. This is stupid.
Yeah.
This is beyond dumb.
It's at some point you have to, as an administration, if you're Keith Carter and the people over there would become a point where you go, we can't go past
Carroll
there.
14, Peyton 14, Reed 12, Pop 11 and a half.
Okay.
Football coaches, by the way, at the pro or college level, take up 17 of the top 25 spots on the list.
Oh, wow.
Basketball coaches own the other 8 spots. There are no baseball or hockey coaches to make the top 25.
No, baseball managers make less and less all the time.
Mike makes more than 5 MLB professional managers. I'm going to duck from any shoes being thrown at me as I say that. So, yeah.
Yeah, LSU. I don't. So but the point of all this is that this is like rumor time.
Yeah.
And all of the rumors aren't true, and all of the rumors aren't false. There's truth in some of the rumors.
Oh, sure.
It's not when everybody goes, oh, it's just agent season. No. I'll give you the best example of this. We did it this morning, but there might be people that are listening for the first time. Mel Tucker's a great example. When someone goes, well, that's just agents doing agent things. Yes, true. But I couldn't go to Rivals today and go, hey, man, the Washington Post is trying to hire me. You guys are going to have to double up. Because guess what? The Washington Post is not trying to hire me. Nobody at the Washington Post even knows who the hell I am, probably. Mel Tucker was able to use LSU as leverage with Michigan State because the LSU president desperately wanted to hire Mel Tucker. Does that make sense? So when someone goes, it's just agents. No, it's not. It's more than agents. You have to have something going to use more than agents.
What's going on?
I'm curious to see who they called that foul on. I think they got it right. I think they called it on Marquette. Yeah,
on 32.
yeah. 6 minutes to go. Marquette is up 62-60. I think Nasir Brooks is going to the free throw line. Yeah, he got fouled. I was worried for a minute that they were going to call the foul on Brooks because he and a Marquette player sort of got arm locked. Mm-hmm. But they got the call right, to their credit. Brooks misses the front end of a 1-and-1, so it's still 62-60, 5:56 and counting to go. South Carolina leads UAB, by the way, 56-51 with 6:06. We'll turn to football when these games are over. If anybody's concerned about what we're watching. And if you are, why? Why would you be concerned about what we watch?
I don't even see that we had UAB on. Their preseason hype video was one of the better ones I've seen in a really long time, by the way. They did a hell of a job with that, whoever was in charge.
Who did?
UAB's basketballs. Did you see it? Like their preseason.
Oh, yeah,
it was
I did.
really good.
It was really well done.
Yeah.
So Marquette misses on their end. I don't have a box up or anything. I
No, no.
hope people are not expecting anything enthralling from me from a writing standpoint from this game, because it's not going to happen. That's a shot Crowley has to make, and he missed. The little bit I've watched, Ole Miss has looked really good on the offensive boards. They've been active. This is probably one of the better teams they'll play in the preseason. That's a really good dish from Rodriguez. Takes another crack, misses 2 threes. You get wide open looks like that. This is the question with Ole Miss, right? Is can they make enough threes? Can they shoot a high enough percentage to be an effective team? And then Marquette comes down and buries a 3 to take a 5-point lead with 4:38 to go. That's the question with this team. If you talk to anybody who's around it, they'll tell you the question is, are there enough reliable shooters? It's not athleticism. It's not depth. It's not post play. It's none of that. It's, do you have enough guys who can go give you a bucket when you need a bucket? Like right now, they need a bucket with 4:17 to go. And Brakefield does a little spin move and almost turns it over, turn it over. That's the stuff. They don't have the guy that can go get the bucket when you need a bucket. And that's the issue with this team. And it was the issue with this team a year ago. And frankly, it was the difference between making the NCAA tournament and not making the NCAA tournament. They were right there. Barrett wants to know your thoughts on the suits this weekend.
We talked about it. I mean, I don't mind the Honor Chucky game. It's fine. It's good. Look, it's the week to do that. It also shows you that Lane was more than happy to do something different and not do what he considers the best suits for Vanderbilt. Marquette now up 7, I believe, in that.
Yeah. 3:55 to go. So the under 4 timeout, and Ole Miss is in trouble. Yeah, Brakefield's got a loose handle. I don't know. I need to watch a lot more before I make some sweeping assertion about this team.
Joyner 13, Brakefield 11, Brooks 10, Crowley 8.
What are they from 3, Chase?
They are 8 of 19.
So not terrible.
8 of 19, 42%. 4 of 10 from the line.
Big Reb 601 says, read my super chat, dadgummit. So.
Including 2 of 8 this half. 2 of 8 from the stripe.
Big Reb says, just asked my buddy at A&M if his testes were hurting after the game last week. He asked me what I was talking about and claimed to know nothing about it. Not sure if he's denying it or not.
There's lots of proof.
Yeah. That's terrible. That would hurt.
I mean, looked like the pressure was pretty moderate.
Yeah. We'd have to get to the hand raise guys after dark portion for me to go too much into detail on that, but
off the top of your head, yeah. No,
yeah, that's never been my favorite thing. UAB pulls to within 4 with 4:48 to go.
Was it a 2?
Yeah. KJ's not in the game for them here in these critical moments. I don't know what that means. Will Kermit and Mike both get fired if they don't make the tournament and at least a super?
I don't think Kermit is on that level of hot
I don't
seat.
either. I think the basketball team would have to fall off the face of the map.
Yeah, I do think Mike is in that position,
Yeah. Yeah. You would know that better than me, but that's my guess.
Yeah.
Anything you want to get to? You want to open phones or?
You can open phones.
All right. Let me go find that.
I did not study how hard he was being gripped. I just noticed the looks on the faces and surmised my opinion on the pressure that was potentially out there.
It looked painful.
Cole said he's obviously in the minority, but he's wanted to go back to the Navy powder ever since they brought the powder back. Hated it when they did it in the 90s, but nostalgic for it now. Get it?
Yeah.
I don't like it, but I get it.
You do it against Vanderbilt because no one's going to be watching after the second quarter. I mean, I say that. What other games are up against that? I don't either. We did a whole thing. I've got to clean this thing up because there's too many.
What is it?
Oh, I've just got, there it is. I've got so many different graphic choices here. So there's the number 662-259-0991. Got to pull Skype up. I had to reset everything earlier.
The 6 o'clock games are Auburn, Carolina, Cal, Stanford, Oregon, Utah.
No, Shaggy's picks are up on rebelgrove.com. I tweeted them out as well.
South Alabama, Tennessee.
Didn't I tweet them out?
Yeah, I thought.
No, I don't think I did.
Not?
No, I need to tweet them out.
Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, Virginia Tech, Miami. And that's it. That's really the only things head-to-head.
Hey, who do we have?
Hi, I'm Baker from Memphis.
Baker?
I'm in the first, yes.
Hey, Baker.
I'm in the first grade. I have a question I would like to ask y'all.
Okay. Go for it.
Who is the best football player in Ole Miss ever?
The best football player at Ole Miss ever. Eli Manning.
What position did he play?
He played quarterback. He played in the NFL for a long time. Won 2 Super Bowls with the Giants. I would say he's the best player. Some people would probably disagree and pick other players, but what do you think, Baker?
I think he's awesome.
Yeah, you like Chad Kelly.
Oh, yeah, Chad Kelly. Yeah, Chad was really good. That's for sure.
You really like Matt Corral, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, Baker. Did you ever see Corvick Neat play?
No.
No. Yeah. He was an adventurous player, Baker. Like every punt return was an adventure. Hey, who's your favorite pro team, Baker? Are you a Browns fan? Do you like Cleveland because they're quarterback?
Thanks.
You like the Saints? Okay. What do you think about the Saints quarterback situation? The Saints sure could use a quarterback, couldn't they, Baker?
Yeah, amen.
Hey, Baker, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. What's your favorite food on Thanksgiving? Do you have one?
Turkey.
You like turkey? You like turkey better than ham?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
What's your favorite pie?
I have another question.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Who is the best coach ever in Ole Miss?
The best coach ever at Ole Miss.
Well, Neal thinks it's Hugh Freeze. I know some would disagree, but I mean, Neal likes him so much he has his autograph right over his shoulder every day when he's working.
Yeah. I mean, Ed Orgeron won a national championship, Baker. So I mean, you got to think about, I mean.
Well, thank you for taking your call.
Thank you for taking the call.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you,
night,
Baker. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.
Bye, Baker. Baker's got a chance in this business. Yeah. I got no feedback at all on the Corvick Neat pick.
Oh, we didn't talk about him on the pod this morning. That's right. I kind of forgot. I guess we had stuff, though.
Today?
Yeah. We didn't do picks on the podcast this morning.
Oh, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were busy.
It was fine.
I screwed that up not last night. Let's see. All right, there's the number. Hey, who do we have?
This is Patrick.
Hey, Patrick, how's it going?
Pretty good. I have a Thanksgiving problem that hopefully you gentlemen can solve.
Give it a shot.
We'll try.
I am traveling from out of state to spend Thanksgiving with my in-laws. And obviously the Egg Bowl is on Thursday night.
Okay.
They do not partake in libations.
Ooh.
and there will be a lot of children, including my small children, at the Thanksgiving festival. So there is one TV in the house. And so I'm left with the quandary of how I'm going to watch the Ole Miss game.
All right, look, hold up. Because listen, how long have you been married?
Oh, God, I'm glad my wife's not listening. 8 years.
8 years. Y'all have kids?
Yes.
What's your relationship with the in-laws?
Good.
What time do you eat Thanksgiving dinner?
Probably be 2:30 or 3.
Perfect. We're on the right spot. All right, here's my recommendation. The game doesn't start till what, 6:30?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, this is easy. Are you someplace where there's a sports bar anywhere nearby?
So I'm in New Albany. I did not know if Rafters would be open on Thanksgiving night. If it is, then the solution is easy.
If it is, the solution's easy. If it's not, there are sports bars 30 miles away that you could come to. So what you need to do is you need to be team Thanksgiving all day long. Be the best good sport in the world. Drink your sweet tea. Tell everybody how awesome it is. Help clean up, right? Don't go sit in the recliner and watch some NFL game. Don't do it. Help.
The lines suck anyway.
The lines suck. Yeah, they suck. You're not missing anything. Help clean up. Tell everybody how awesome it is. Tell everybody it's the best turkey you've ever had, etc. And then at about 5:50, haul ass. No one's going to ever say anything. Just say, I'm going to go watch the game. I'm going to be in the way if I do it here. I'm going to go watch the game. Tell your wife I'm leaving at about 6 o'clock, 5:50. It's going to be fine. And if that's the end of your marriage, it was on the rocks anyway.
Well, it won't be the end for sure. My other solution was to get a room at the Hampton Inn and watch it.
Well, that's even better.
I think she'll
no, that's even a better idea.
I didn't think about that.
I mean, I didn't know that was an option. If that's an option, yeah, at 6 o'clock, you just go, hey, peace.
That's pretty good thinking, actually.
Because then you just run by a liquor store or something, and you run to the Hampton Inn, and that way you can pace and scream and holler, and if it's bad, you can suffer in your own. If it's great, you can celebrate. You don't make a fool of yourself. Nobody ever knows.
I know. I got yelled at twice during the A&M game for screaming.
Yeah.
Even though my kids are on the second floor and I'm in the basement, I told her there's nowhere else I can go.
Yeah, you got to get out of there. Simple as that. So the key is from the moment you wake up on Thanksgiving Day until 6 o'clock, you are the model husband, the model father. You're like helping put everything up. You're putting the leftovers in the Tupperware and the whole deal, and then you got to get the hell out of there.
Well, I appreciate it, gentlemen.
You're welcome. I'm glad to help. I'm glad to help. That's what we're here for, and you're welcome.
Take care.
Okay. Bye, Patrick. I feel like we're doing God's work right now.
That was fine. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of feel like we helped somebody right there. Who do we have?
Hey, it's Mark in Columbus.
Hey, Mark, what's up?
Hey, so the win Saturday, would you say that's Lane Kiffin's biggest win in his career?
Career. I think you've got to finish the season for it to be like, because let's say they lose to State and they end up in the Outback Bowl or something, like, why was it a big win? Because they haven't built recruiting momentum off of it.
It's a good point.
Well, I'm not even necessarily arguing. I just don't really know what the benefit of it would be.
That's a fair point.
His most substantive, I can't say the word, substantive win.
I think so.
Kind of beat a team that's got a better roster than he's got, except for, pretty much one position. That's what I thought, at least. So I'm rapping with a reporter friend of mine, respected guy. It breaks a lot of Tennessee stuff.
Okay.
He says, don't laugh. A name he's hearing with Miami, he said, do not laugh. Dion. The former players all want him.
No, I've heard that name.
And they said, I guess when he interviewed at TCU, that he kind of blew him away last year or whenever it was. He interviewed somewhere and he blew him away. Power 5 job.
Look, if you told me that that Miami was going to do the song and dance where, hey, we went after Cristobal, we went after Kiffin, couldn't do it, appease the people that's who they wanted, and then they went and did something like Deion, I'd buy it. It's risky. It's really risky, right? Is that running a Power 5 program and running a SWAC program are two completely different things.
And you get all the excitement of hiring Deion, but no high school kid ever saw Deion play. And, yeah, you get all the excitement, but then he's got to actually do the job.
Yeah, he's got to go work at a level that he's not working at Jackson State. But if you told me something like that happened, I buy it, sure.
Do you know anything about this Mel Tucker deal? Is he getting like the same insurance policy thingy that Harbaugh got as kind of a vehicle, and that sort of inflates the number? It's sort of an investment vehicle where it's not really $93 million. It's more of it's an annuity or something like that. It's not.
I haven't heard that yet.
I don't know.
$93 million because Harbaugh's got something where it's, it's not all cash. There's a big insurance policy involved with it that you can only do it in Michigan. Other places you can't do it. I don't know.
I have not heard that.
I do need for Riley to go to Oklahoma and Oklahoma to hire Heupel just so I can witness the absolute meltdown of that fan base.
It would be a hell of a meltdown. It really would. There are some meltdown possibilities that are out there.
That's a big one.
Unfortunately, we're on top of one. So, but yeah, that would be. I'll tell you the one.
They did say that Heupel's got like no relationship with Oklahoma anymore after he got fired by Stoops back in the day. So I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, there are people, Mark, whose relationships with their alma maters get severed. And that does happen. And it's interesting. Yeah, you don't. Once it's severed, it's hard to put it back. I will tell you the one that I do think has some legs to it. I do think the whole Brian Harsin Auburn thing, Brian Harsin to Washington has.
You do think it has some juice?
I think it has some juice. Enough juice to get done, I don't know. But juice, yes.
I wonder if he's down here and he kind of realizes that coaching down here or down, in SEC is a little different animal than being up there in the Northwest. A little different ball game down here. Maybe he wants to go be happy.
I can't say on a show what I heard, but
a little different.
It's stuff. And, there's stuff.
Yeah, because that's why I like Matt Campbell coming down. Like, yeah, buddy.
Well, and Campbell's listening for the first time. I don't know. Hey man, look, stuff's gonna happen. Not everything that's rumored to be happening is going to happen, but not everything that's rumored to be happening is not going to happen.
Yep. All right, y'all.
All right,
appreciate
Mark.
it.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Ole Miss and probably a game
They're
over
in
now
trouble.
at this point.
Yeah.
Not only is it a loss, Marquette's frankly not supposed to be that great this year, and they likely miss West Virginia as well. From a schedule standpoint.
So they'll get Elon.
I don't know that the game's been played, but I'm sure West Virginia's the better team. So,
hey, who do we have?
Brantley.
Hey, Brantley. What's up?
Thank you for letting me use your toilet on Halloween.
I don't know who that is. Sorry.
Let's see. He still like him before he figures he stays. You really are up to 10 grand, Grind? That's nothing to that?
What's that?
I was reading Grind's thing. Well, the Huskies do like him, but I'd be willing to bet 4 figures he stays.
Marquette beats Ole Miss 78-72. It's a final. Look, like I say all the time, man, I don't cover all these teams. I just hear stuff. You talk about stuff and you ask questions and you get answers. And it's so early.
Do what?
Hey, who's this?
Hey guys, it's Ivan Reb.
Hey, Vibin, what's up, man?
Nothing much. Just turned off the Rebs game. I just put on Patriots New England. I had Patriots -7. So
Oh, we need to turn that
I'm
on.
going.
Is that on NFL
Yeah.
Network?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it on Fox. I'm going from cussing at the Rebs to now I'm sure I'm going to be cussing at the Falcons because they're going to cover. Chase, everyone told me that the bet was on the Falcons to cover, but I almost bet Atlanta, and I just couldn't do it. It felt weird. I just can't put money on the Falcons. I don't. I guess I hate.
Well, you
them
just
so
don't bet on that
much,
game,
like,
period. Either way, I mean, like, I'm not betting on the Saints there, but I'm not going to bet on the Falcons and then like be sort of like weirdly invested in that back and forth. Like that doesn't.
Yeah, that's my thing. That's what my brother bet on the Falcons, and I was like, man, I wouldn't be able to watch the game. I would literally have to just periodically check in and out and see what the score is because I'm not going to sit there and cheer for Atlanta. I'm just not going to do it. Maybe that's me being stubborn, but I don't know. I feel like
Patriots just scored to go up 10-0.
Did they? Hold up, y'all are ahead of me.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Oh yeah, all right. Yeah, I feel a lot better now. Not knocking Kermit. I love Kermit, but it is frustrating because I feel like he's a big fundamentals guy, and we couldn't hit a damn free throw tonight to save our lives.
What
They had like
what did they go from the line?
missed free throws.
You have the box up, Chase?
Yeah, I have it.
It's the
Uh,
free throw.
It was around 10 missed free throws, which
6
is a
of
lot.
15.
Ooh.
That's not good.
What did Marquette shoot from the line?
Uh, 17 of 19.
Oh, well, there's your ball game. What did Ole Miss shoot from three when it was all said and done?
I think they had like 6 or 7 3-pointers.
Looking at Marquette's total stats, I mean, that's the thing, too, with them. They shot 32 threes. 32.
That's enough.
13
Neal, I wanted to ask
13
you,
of 32.
That's what Marquette did. What did Ole Miss
Yeah.
do from three?
8 of 20.
So that's it's not a terrible percentage, but one team hits 13, you hit 8. It's just you're having to create so much offense.
Are they having a problem defending with 3 too? I haven't watched.
You know,
enough
I
of
haven't
the team
seen them
yet.
enough. I haven't seen them enough, Vibin, to say this yet. I don't know. I mean, I haven't had a chance to really watch a lot yet. I watched them one game in person, and one game is just it's too small of a sample size.
For sure. I watched I watched a little bit of a UNO game, and I basically watched the entire second half of a UNO game, and then I watched a little bit of this one, and I saw Marquette was starting to drill threes, and I mean, I don't know if it's a trend or it's just super early in the season. I mean, and plus them not having Ruffin. I mean, Ruffin probably would have played tonight, right?
Oh, well, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, like-
Ruffin absolutely would have played. UAB loses to South Carolina, in case you're interested, 66-63. Two really good friends coaching against each other in that game.
Did KJ play a good bit? Has he been playing for UAB?
You know, I don't know. That was my first time to watch them, and I didn't see him play a lot. I saw him play some, but I didn't see him play a lot.
Well, if there's anyone that could get that kid confidence in his shot, it's AK.
Well, there's no doubt about that. I think at the end here's my thing. I think at the end of the day, South Carolina is going to be a good team. What alarms me for Ole Miss as it pertains to the SEC is that you know that a bunch of teams are going to be good, and some of the teams that people are counting on to be bad are not going to be bad because they're just not. They're not going to be bad teams. Buzz Williams is not going to have a bad team. Frank Martin is not going to have a bad team. Konzo Martin is not going to have a bad team. Any more than Kermit Davis is going to have a bad team. So if you're playing a bunch of good teams that you can't beat from a talent standpoint, and then you go 500 against the other less talented teams, you're staring at a really bad SEC record.
Mm-hmm.
The conference is just so much better than it was 5-10 years ago. And I guess,
no doubt.
I mean, I don't know. I guess it was when they got the network and the commissioner said, hey, you're going to be on TV every night now. And I don't know. It just feels like the overall conference has invested in basketball so much more in the past 5-10 years.
Well, invested's the right word. Invested's the right word, and they absolutely have. And so the programs that don't have the same level of investment, and that is absolutely the word, it shows. And it's just, you can talk about coaching, and you can talk about style of play and pace of play, and you could talk about that stuff till you are blue in the face. But I watch a lot of basketball. I do. I turn it on in this office all the time throughout the year. It's on in the background. Chase will vouch for this. It's on a lot. Basketball is a game of talent. It's not a coach game. It's a talent game. And Steve Kerr didn't become a considerably worse coach over the last couple of years than he was the years before. But when your team goes from having Kevin Durant and having Klay Thompson to not having Kevin Durant and not having Klay Thompson, your team's not the same. So to think that doesn't translate to the college game is insanity. And Ole Miss's problem is I don't know that they got enough guys who can go get a bucket. And I don't think you can coach around a lack of guys who can go get a bucket.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you're playing against guys like Will Wade and John Calipari, I mean, Calipari has been here for a minute, but then look at what Alabama's doing right now in recruiting. Look at what Arkansas is doing in recruiting right now.
Well, I mean, look, Grind's right in the thread. And let's see, and I'm going to add he's got a little different list than I would have, but his list is essentially the same as mine. He's like Bama, Arkansas, Florida, Tennessee, Auburn, Kentucky, Mississippi State are all tournament teams. I agree. And I think LSU's a tournament team.
That's half the damn league.
Well, it's more than half the league.
I mean, they're going to get 7.
That's 8 of the league.
Yeah.
And so it's a if Ole Miss is serious about basketball, they've got to come up with a different player procurement plan.
I hope they are. When they originally hired Keefe, that was the first thing in my head. It was like, well, you know what? I kind of like that they're hiring a basketball-oriented guy who has that experience. And now I don't know if that's going to give them an advantage, but, I feel like Ole Miss – and look, I wanted to ask Chase about this too.
Mm-hmm.
And Neal, you too. I feel like – I wouldn't say it was a mistake. I just feel like from a revenue standpoint, it would have been – and look, when Bianco came in, he absolutely raised expectations at Ole Miss. I mean, you can't argue that. But I do think Ole Miss probably would have been better suited, not from, we're not talking about buying players or anything, but I'm just talking about investing into basketball more in the early, mid-2000s. And because Chase can tell me, when did Ole Miss start investing in baseball?
Just in general?
Yeah.
I mean,
was it after Mike's first 4 seasons?
Yeah, but first 3. I mean, I would say there was a pickup on that starting around 04-05 and then culminating big by 09 because it took a little while. So yeah,
I think they waited too long to build the pavilion. That's just me personally, because when your head coach is literally having to lie about, hey, that's going to be our new basketball arena, there's a problem.
The mall.
Yeah. When he would take the kids to where they were building Oxford High School and tell them that's where they were building a mall.
Was it the mall or was it the high school?
It was the high school. He would take them out to where they were clearing all the land for the high school, and that's a huge parcel of land, because if you go to OHS now, they're building what appears to be a football practice field and a field house, and they're building a baseball stadium and all that out down there. So there's a huge amount of land. And Andy would tell them that's where they were building the mall.
Man, I'm not as much as I love the Andy Candy quotes. I think my favorite one was there's 2. One was AK and one was John Calipari. There was one. Wasn't there a hole in the ceiling
Yeah.
in the Tad pad or something?
That's
and
David.
It
Dave. Well, it rained, but Andy called David Brandt out to mid-court one day at a practice. David was with the AP at the time, or the Clarion Ledger, one or the other,
Yeah.
and he called him out. And David was like, I think he's about to yell at me about something. And so David goes out there, and Andy goes, look up. You see that blue dot at the top? And David goes, yeah, I see it. And he goes, that's the sky. It remains one of the funniest stories ever. Because if you know David and you know Andy and you sort of know their relationship, it's really funny.
Because they had been a little rocky at moments. So,
it
had been a minute.
AK kind of went after him a couple times, huh?
Yeah.
Didn't David write something weird once?
Yeah.
He wrote about
the deal in Cincinnati. AK did not appreciate the way that David wrote about that.
And it was kind
the lack
weird.
of
I
consortium.
remember it now. It was a little weird.
The lack of consortium lawsuit that got filed. David had some fun with it, and Andy did not appreciate it.
He did not laugh.
Yeah, and so their relationship was kind of weird, and but that was a funny moment. That's the sky.
The other thing was it Calipari was it a family of raccoons or something that they found in the Tad pad?
It was squirrels, right?
I think it was
raccoons.
raccoons.
Thought it was raccoons.
For some reason, I think it was raccoons.
Okay.
But I rest my case. The fact that it even got to this point with Ole Miss basketball in the early 2000s makes me think they waited just way too long to build a new arena. Invest in basketball.
What was Andy's line about asbestos?
Yeah, he did in press conference. He'd walk in, he would he'd start coughing. He'd look like, sorry, asbestos. Not bad. You just kind of fall over. But I guess your point, when you say that, if you build a pavilion earlier, what does that mean, though? How does that actually?
Yeah, because I'll be honest. I think it's all about your ability to procure players.
You think it's yeah. I mean, yeah, that's probably it. And look, it sucks. That was the biggest thing with me hoping that Ole Miss could get something going with the Jordan brand, is that maybe that bleeds over into basketball. But I don't think there's anything to that anymore.
As of today, there's not.
Yeah, and look, even if there was, I don't know if that would be anything meaningful for basketball recruiting. I mean, maybe, but I mean, you look over at State and they just conveniently pluck in a top 100 AAU kid every now and then just because they're an Adidas school, and that's the frustrating part of it, But yeah, I like I said, I'm all in on Kermit. Like I think he's a really good coach. I just think I think he's changing up the way he coaches a little bit. I think he actually does that.
They played faster tonight. I wasn't glued into it, obviously, but what I did see, they did play faster. They just don't have guys who can make buckets. They had open shots and they missed, and then you come down in transition and the other team gets an open bucket and makes it. I mean, people make this
gotta have a dudes.
People make this too complicated. I mean, if you've got guys that can shoot and you've got guys that can't shoot and they've got guys that can, it's going to be hard. Hey, thanks for the call, Ivan.
All right, y'all take care.
Just missed that.
Hey, who do we have? Hey, who's this?
I'm sorry for pranking you, but that was actually not a prank.
It's okay. It's all good.
For the candy.
Yeah, no problem.
It's okay. Thanks for calling.
Welcome.
By the way, look at the Duke-Louisville game. Don't look at the score, but look in the stands. And that's why you wonder – I'm not justifying LSU paying a coach $15 million.
We're in Durham.
Yeah. I'm not justifying LSU paying a coach $15 million, okay? Don't get me wrong. But when a AD tells people it's too expensive to lose, you can see what they mean. You can see what they mean. There's nobody there. And when you lose Gates, when you lose fans in this environment, it's risky. Even at places like LSU. It's risky. I get it. Because, look, if you're LSU view this for a minute.
Yeah,
If you're LSU and you pay whatever, okay? The fans don't give a damn what you pay a coach. What's the reaction in Baton Rouge to Lincoln Riley got the job?
I mean, it's pandemonium in a positive way.
It's ticket sales, Chase. It's ticket sales. People buy tickets.
But I don't think $15 million still makes sense financially.
No.
That's the thing.
That's not my point.
But it kind of is the point, though.
But my point is when an athletics department says, we saw what happened this year. We saw what the crowd was like, and LSU did. They saw what the crowd was like for Arkansas. What the crowd will be like on Saturday for ULM. That's a place they can't go.
Yeah.
You have 105,000 seat stadium, and you start getting 65,000 people. That's not what you budgeted. You start having 40,000 empty seats, and someone in the hand raise room goes, "Hey, all those people aren't coming back when we win. They're going to do other things."
Sure. I guess I don't know what the cap is on what makes sense to pay to get that guy.
But if
versus what actually makes sense.
But if that's what it takes to get the guy, because you saw what it meant to win big, and then you see what it means to lose big, and someone comes back and goes, and this is exactly what I was told happened at LSU. Someone goes, "We can't afford to lose." Like literally can't afford to lose. Fans aren't getting in the car in Shreveport and driving to Baton Rouge to see a loser. Any more than fans are getting in the car in Jackson and driving to Oxford to see a 4-8 team. They're not.
No.
2 years ago when Ole Miss played Texas A&M, the stadium was half full. I don't care what the attendant said, the stadium was half full. 5 nights ago when Ole Miss played Texas A&M, the stadium was full. There was one difference. One program was winning and one wasn't.
Yeah, sure.
Had nothing to do with Texas A&M. Had everything to do with the home team. I get it. And so a lot of people think this is going to be the great reset because the coaches, what they're saying is, hey, listen, nobody gets 5 years anymore. 5 years is the new 2 years.
And while I get that, they're still getting the stupid big buyouts, though. Let's quit acting like they're broke after because of it. Like,
but you can parcel out the buyouts.
Still getting paid.
Absolutely.
You know.
But from a coach perspective.
And not even really defending the athletic departments. I'm just saying, like, the coaches acting like they're paupers because they don't get 5 years makes no sense.
No, but I get a coach going, hey, I want everything I can get right now.
Well, I get that anyway.
Sure.
But I do believe it is creating the reset because of that.
Yeah.
At some point.
I think it's a multifaceted reset.
I mean, in 15 years, you can't be paying $30 million to a football coach.
I mean,
it doesn't make sense from a balance book.
I agree.
That's the
because
problem.
at some point, the fan has to pay the bill.
Yeah. I mean, well, because look at Ole Miss right now. I mean, not to get into the Lane Kiffin thing, but I mean, they're still not selling out 64,000 every day and maxing out concessions and all those 10 things. So where's the extra $4 million coming from? I mean, it's not monopoly.
I think you're borrowing it from future TV money, right? Which feels risky.
Okay, but
sure. Hey, who do we have?
Hey, this is Dan in Jackson.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, guys. Well, we were talking about this and paying Kiffin or paying any of these coaches. I mean, what dollar value do you put on what happened in the Grove Saturday and the publicity that went down? And Kirk Herbstreit, his comments after the game.
Yeah, I don't.
That's a lot of money. I mean, that's
yeah. I don't know what I'd have to. I mean, I couldn't possibly answer that with any.
No, I know.
But I mean, a lot.
A lot.
I mean, what does it mean? What does it mean?
It's a lot of value. It's hard to put it into tangible money. What does it actually mean?
I mean, okay, but let's play this because we've kind of done this. I think Alabama's attempted to put a value on what Nick Saban has done to their institution.
Yeah, I mean, FAU did with Kiffin.
Yeah.
Well, and look at it this way: I think the enrollment at Ole Miss was up this year 19%. What do you think is going to be next year?
My guess is it will be up. What you don't know in that 19%, right, is that there's no question that some of it is football, some of it is Kiffin. There's no question. What you don't know is like how much of the growth was the pandemic related. Like, for example, Arkansas had the largest freshman class they've ever had. It wasn't because Sam Pittman went 3-7 in football last year. It was some of it is pandemic related.
No, I know that, but in the Mac Luke years before the pandemic, enrollment was going down.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. There's no look. Your football program can't suck at places like this. It just can't. I mean, again, it feels like Chase and I are arguing, but we're not. We're just kind of talking semantics. When LSU when LSU says in their meeting, and it did happen, when someone says, "Hey, we just can't afford to lose." I mean, like we can't be a loser. Just financially, it doesn't make sense. We can't do it. We're watching this. Like, how many people are going to be at the game Saturday night when Louisiana Monroe plays at 8:00?
Not many.
Oh, I mean,
30.
The people who live close to Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
The handful of people from Monroe who are going to go down, and it's a very small handful, by the way. I mean, the LSU alum in Houston is not driving over for that game. But if LSU
they're taking the week off.
But if LSU's 9-1. He's coming over for that game.
And Neal, look at it like this too. I mean, think about it. We talk about it for years, how times have changed. TVs are better. Bathrooms are free. Beer's cold at your house. I mean, look at Ole Miss. We're 9-2, and look, I know Vanderbilt's terrible, and it's a terrible time slot at 6:30 to play Vanderbilt. This is 11 o'clock. It should be an 11 o'clock game if there is one. But they're begging people to come, giving out $25 tickets. We're going for 9-2 in the first undefeated season at home.
Well, so let's play this out with Ole Miss for a minute. Ole Miss will get, my guess is Ole Miss will get about 51,000 Saturday.
Without knowing anything, sure. I don't know.
So if Ole Miss is 8-2, if Ole Miss were 5-5 on Saturday, it'd be 32,000.
Well, look at State. But
probably a little low, but I mean a definite drop off.
36?
Maybe.
Actual people, not tickets sold. Actual people.
They might, maybe.
Yeah, I would say it's a 10 to 12,000 difference just off the top.
Yeah, and I don't know what the per person cost add on is. Like, what does each person spend in concessions? What do they spend? I don't know. I'm sure that someone's done the math over there, but I don't know it.
Yeah. Well, but that's why you pay a football coach $8 million.
By the way, Dan, Will has a really good question here. I was hoping you could answer it for me real quick. UL Monroe did beat Liberty this year in football, correct?
They did.
They did, Will. Dan says that ULM did beat Liberty in football.
In fact, that was a thing.
That actually happened. I wanted to make sure we cleared that up because there seemed to be some confusion in the stream. Sorry, Dan.
Well, they still the Indians. No, you're good.
No, we're the Warhawks now.
Warhawks, okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah.
So some people do change their mascots.
It can be done. You have to have a commitment to it, but it can be done, yes.
Okay. Well, it's funny. I thought Ole Miss was the only one that was. Okay. All right, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, Dan.
Y'all have a good one.
Somebody asked about KJ Buffin. He was not spectacular. Played 13 minutes, had 1 point. 1 of 2 from the line, 0 of 3 from the field, 3 fouls, 1 turnover, 1 steal, a -13 on a plus-minus.
I know somebody who's pouting tonight.
That's a
KJ can get really pouty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, who do we have?
Hey, it's Steve in Greenville.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, I got a book recommendation for you, Neal.
Okay.
You like rock. Read Rocky IV. It's written by Sylvester Stallone.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little bit different than the movie. Adrian's pregnant in the book. Paulie has this weird relationship with the robot. It gets to the point where Rocky has to sit him down and talk to him. And the Russian talks about defecting.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, it costs about $30 on eBay if you can find it.
Okay. That might be
The other
worth
thing
it.
is read original script to Rocky 1, where Rocky throws in the towel after the 14th round, leaves the ring, tells Adrian he's done with boxing, he don't need it, and walks out.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, boy, that would have changed history.
Yeah, that's not good.
Think about what would. Have you thought about that, Steve? If that happens, if Rocky quits in Rocky 1,
yeah,
we're still in the Cold War. We're still, us and Russia are still threatening to kill each other on an everyday basis.
Well, apparently they filmed that scene and showed it to test audiences, and they absolutely hate it.
As they should have.
How about that?
Because the rest of the movie is the same. It's just that one scene.
Yeah, because I love the end of Rocky 1 where Apollo says, never again. No rematch. And Rocky says, oh, I want a rematch.
He went the distance.
Well,
That was the point.
Oh, he almost died. They both almost died right there at the hospital. And Adrian is so annoying. I hated her for the longest time. She's such an awful wife.
You hated her in the whole thing.
Well, she's such a bad wife. You married a boxer, and you're immediately like, you can't win.
She says you can't
win. I'd be like, well, you're out. We're done. We are finished.
Well, if you ever think about her career, she made 3 Godfathers, 5 Rockies, and Rad. That was the sum total of her career.
Well, I mean, you can't like her at the end of I mean,
of which one?
Well, damn near all of them. And she's out there on the beach with Rocky, and
she motivated him in Rocky 2. She goes, do one thing, win.
Yeah, but after an entire movie of completely sabotaging his total professional career.
She was in a coma.
She was going to be perfectly cool with him becoming a hitman. That's a terrible wife. She's a bad person. And at the end of Rocky 3, when they're having their, not that there's anything wrong with this, when they were kind of having their homosexual moment on the beach, she delivers the big speech about how I want you to do it. Like, where have you been all this time?
He got the eye of the tiger then, though. He suddenly became coordinated. He could jump rope and run all of a sudden.
Yeah. And what are the odds, honestly, of a professional boxer winning the title and he can't jump rope or run?
He was a little sloopy, a little clumsy. That was the.
T.I. says she reminded him of Olive Oil. There is a similarity. Did you ever watch Popeye?
Yeah. Sure.
Here's Hey, Steve, hold on, Steve. We got a question for you. Got a question for you. This is a good question. This is a good question. Who sucks worse, Jenny from Forrest Gump or Rocky's aforementioned wife? Who's worse? Because they're both horrible. Who sucks worse?
Well, you gotta give Jenny a little slack there. She did have an awful childhood.
She did.
Oh.
I've never really thought about it.
Adrian lived with Paulie. Wasn't ideal.
Yeah, but she didn't have to work. Paulie took care of her.
She worked at the pet store.
But he didn't molest her. Jenny was molested.
Okay, it's fair. Yeah, Adrian didn't go out in the field and go, "Dear God, make me a bird. Let me fly far, far, far away."
So we're unanimous here. Adrian's worst
because Jenny gets the break.
Yeah, because Jenny it was rough.
Is it Jenny if Forrest isn't the actual father?
That child is definitely Forrest's child.
If she only did it because he had gained some wealth by that point?
Well, that would be really shitty.
Well, when Forrest had AIDS, too?
Well, now, then Jenny wins.
Jenny's the winner.
All right, guys. I'll take it easy.
All right. Later. Yeah, I mean, Jenny doesn't even tell Forrest he has a kid.
He's like 7 by the time. And they're living in some cheap apartment in Savannah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. Jennifer, I'm not really sure what part got flagged there. Could be a couple different words. I'm not really sure what got you.
I'm not really sure either. Hey, who do we have? Hey, who's this?
Hey, this is Alan from Tennessee.
Hey, Alan. What's up?
Hey, so I was going to talk about the game, the A&M game attendance, and people standing. I kid you not. So I was sitting on the sidelines, and we're cheering, so every fan's supposed to be doing. Some old lady sitting behind us is yelling at us to sit down. I was just kind of confused. Like, I mean, we're in a football game. We're not at a ballet right now. So, it just kind of irks me. We got fans that aren't in the game, and they're just trying to tell people to sit down like we're at a theater or a ballet performance or something.
Yeah, I think when you go to a football game that you have to understand that there's a decent chance you're going to have to stand. And if you do, you stand. We were at the Mississippi State-Arkansas game, and the people in front of us stood a lot, and so we would just stand so that we could see. I mean, it was what it was. I wasn't there cheering or whatever, but if I wanted to see the game, and I did, I had to stand sometimes. So be it.
Exactly. Like, my buddy had a few drinks in him. He was yelling, not yelling at people, like cheering people on to stand up and, get the defense going. But, just like, I mean, we're in a football game. I mean, what are these people expecting?
No, it's more than fair. I mean, I think when you go to a football game, if you want to stand and cheer the whole time, you can.
For sure.
I mean, literally the only rule for me is like if there's kids around me, I know, hey, I can't be profane.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's it. But I can stand, certainly.
Definitely. Yeah, that's all I had to gripe on.
Okay. Denver Reb. Hey, thanks for the call, Alan. Denver Reb has asked this question repeatedly, so I think he's demanding an answer. Neal, do the potential NCAA sanctions not impact LSU's attractiveness at all? I mean, sanctions. I'm not convinced the NCAA has teeth. They're like the puppy that's just gumming your...
Well, you saw where they've hammered UMass women's tennis.
Yeah.
And was it Bluefield State the other day?
And Oklahoma State basketball.
And then got really mad because they said the people's names.
Yeah. Ooh. Hey, who do we have?
Jerry from Columbus.
Hey, Jerry, what's up?
Not much. I'm just a little pissed off tonight.
At who?
What?
What'd Chase do?
Lane Kiffin.
Oh.
I'll tell you this, y'all.
Okay.
Matt Luke would have never, ever thought of leaving us.
Oh, that's true.
We are 9 and we're 8-2, I think.
8-2.
We're 8-2, and I'm just about tired of all this talk of Lane Kiffin leaving.
Because you don't think he is, or you don't care?
I want him to leave. I want us to go get old Coach Luke back. Look what he's doing at Georgia.
He's doing a hell of a job. They're undefeated.
He's doing a great job at Georgia.
Yeah.
I think he can do that here. It worked out the first time. I mean, look, we can have John Ross Plumlee running the Wildcat again. Every game. We need to bring him and Houston Nutt back.
Duke just did a fake punt that worked completely. Down 35-9, they converted a punt.
Are you in Columbus, Mississippi?
Columbus, Mississippi.
Is Old Hickory still open? Still a good steak over there?
I don't know. I don't drink.
It was a steak.
It was a steak.
Oh, I don't know. I'm
a
vegetarian.
So where are you really from?
I'm from Oxford.
Okay. I thought I could weed you out right there. I was going to give it a shot.
I don't think Jerry from Columbus would not be a vegetarian. I don't think. I think it's a safe bet.
Oh, I'm just messing. Y'all have a good night.
You too. Right, they gave him a 3 out of 10. Ole Miss Maker gave him a 1.5 out of 10.
Well, he hates Rocky Ford. Does his vote really count?
No.
Okay, I mean,
no, absolutely not.
Louisville up 35-9 on Cutcliffe and Duke.
Yeah, I wish they'd show a crowd shot.
Louisville will get its 6th win tonight to reach bowl eligibility.
Hey, who do we have?
Hey guys, Walt in Birmingham.
Hey, Walt.
Yeah, we're talking about Louisville Duke. I've got Louisville -20 on Brothrow, so definitely plugged in that one. Hope Cutcliffe doesn't pull out too many successful fake punts.
Yeah, you're probably watching this drive with some interest, aren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit. But I'm glad at least, Jerry from Columbus, the caller, at least, said it was a joke at the end, because it reminded me of, speaking of poor troll calls, was I usually don't listen to the post-game show after a loss like a lot of people. I usually get my stringer to do it and then tell me about it later, or that or one of my freshmen. It just kind of depends.
Yeah,
but,
that's what you should always do. Get a freshman to do it.
But right. But after the Auburn game, I kind of decided what I really wanted to do was listen to the first few calls, and I was expecting it to be, Bubba, and maybe get an update on Diddy and Chase and the whole crew. And then the first call, I'm already frustrated from the game. And, of course, the first call was, hey, this is Tammy. And I about wanted to throw my phone into the fire pit I was sitting next to, because that was just almost too much. Expecting Bubba and getting Tammy in that moment was a little stressful. But anyway, one of the reasons I wanted to call in, I wanted to expand on your relationship analogy you made. You've made it several times about Kiffin and kind of the way people are acting, kind of desperate and insecure. Another thing I thought of, some of these people I'm convinced are just trying to will it into existence, almost like they want to be miserable or want to say, I told you he was going to leave, and they're just, I don't know, they've got to be very upsetting people to be around and be married to. But, if you're in a relationship and one person is always worried about, like you said, are they going to leave? Are they going to cheat? Any of that stuff. At some point, the other person starts wondering, well, if you don't value yourself enough to think I should be with you, then maybe the values are so off that I shouldn't be. I mean, you really, it makes your value less in the eyes of the other person if they're looking for it. I mean, I really think people just need to take a deep breath and just, football coach, it's going to be okay. He's either going to stay here or he wants to do something else. I mean, just enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm going to weigh in on this for a second. Stay with us, Walt, because I think you're onto something, right? Yep. So the way I view this is this. Number one, I think Kiffin's staying, okay? But eventually the day's going to come when Kiffin leaves.
Sure.
He's not if you say, "Hey,
Neal, super young."
Yeah, if you say, "Hey, Neal, do you think Lane Kiffin's going to be the coach at Ole Miss in 10 years?" My answer is no. No, I don't. I mean, and if that makes you unsubscribe, well, God help us. I don't. Yeah. I don't think
no reason. To
do you think that?
No, there's no plausible reason to believe that.
So the day's going to come. So you've elevated your program to a place where you're attractive. Last Saturday was more than Lane Kiffin. It was. Right. That was not just Lane Kiffin. It was not. Yeah. It was more than Lane Kiffin. In the same way that what happened in 2014 was more than Hugh Freeze. But it happened in 2014 also. And in 2015, I mean, not to bring up bad moments, but you were a play away from probably doing a big thing.
Right.
Okay, so that's 2014, 2015, 2021. Those are not, it's not like we're studying, like I was helping Carson with American history yesterday, and we're talking about 1917. So we're not talking that far back. I mean, we're talking just a few years.
Right.
So you can do it. Now, is it hard? Sure. But look, if you're willing to pay Lane Kiffin $7 million as a number,
sure,
then why the hell are you not willing to pay somebody else $7 million? Is he the only football coach in the world? Lane Kiffin has won all of 0 national championships. I'm not saying he'll never win one. I'm not. But to date, he's not won one. So you're telling me that he's the only coach in America that's worth $7 million at Ole Miss?
Yeah, just make the right hire.
Yeah, I mean in an ideal world, you keep Lane Kiffin. But if Lane Kiffin tells you, I don't want to be here, and for the record, I don't think that's happening. But if it did, what are you going to do? Hold him hostage in the Manning Center with a gun to his head? No, you say, okay, hey, man, thank you. And you go find the next guy, whoever that is, and you fully invest in him.
And to expand on you talking about just the time, it's been, 14, 15 being a huge tentpole, this year being a huge tentpole. I mean, we go back to, 2008 when you started on the Ole Miss beat. I mean, we hired a retread coach that was fired from Arkansas.
Yeah.
I mean, think about, and that would be.
And he took you to what was the equivalent of an Access Bowl.
Yeah, right. But just in the position where we are now, just even the candidates we look at, I mean, we're in such a different place. And not that long a period of time.
I mean, Walt, I had this conversation with someone today. I mean, someone said, what would you do if you're Ole Miss and Lane leaves? Well, I mean, frankly, I pick up the phone. I'm calling Matt Campbell. I'm calling Billy Napier.
Yeah.
I'm calling the people that other people are talking about, and I'm saying, hey, we've got seven point whatever here. It's a great place to coach. You got great fan support, great tradition.
Huge fundraising drive currently.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening. Yeah, look, it's like I told somebody today, is Ole Miss Alabama? No, Ole Miss is not Alabama. But it's not Texas Tech and Kansas State either.
Yeah.
I mean, so you got to get past that mindset. No, you're not Georgia. And the odds are you're never going to be Georgia. Reality.
Right.
You're not Notre Dame. But you're not Oregon State either. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, you're not I mean, right now you're sitting here at third in the SEC behind two freaking superpowers. I mean, Georgia and Alabama. You've traditionally gone toe-to-toe with LSU, with Auburn, with Texas A&M. Those are powerful schools. Those are powerful programs. I mean, what makes you think that you can't do it if you do it right? Now, if you go hire somebody who has no idea what the hell they're doing and you don't invest and you don't spend and you run the program into the ground and you go 4-8, well, that's on you at this point. You've proven that.
Right. Yeah.
You've proven that you can be really good and you've proven that you can suck. I mean, not to be mean, but that's the reality.
No, dead on. Another thing y'all are dead on today's podcast was I agree with you on the clapping on planes thing. Those people who clap in the movies are terrible. It's awful. But the only exception I will make is I was on a plane one time where a bird flew into the engine on the ascent, and then we had to level out, and smoke kind of filled the not you couldn't see it, but you could smell it. I swear the couple next to me, who must have been deeply in love, they gripped each other's hands and looked at each other like we were going down in the field adjacent to the Raleigh-Durham airport. But people clapped. I don't remember if I did or not, but whenever we landed, people did clap, and I thought at least I could at least understand it in that.
There is an adverse thing
there's
that
an
happened.
exception, yeah. Where, hey,
but that's not just 80 and sunny, and we're going from Miami to Atlanta, and we.
Yeah, no, come on, yeah.
Yeah, completely. Also wanted to thank y'all for a couple of recommendations y'all made over time. One is, Neal, whenever you a few weeks ago you mentioned the Coach 30 thing, and I started watching those, and I was like crying, laughing in my office at that guy.
The one he did with the Pee Wee kids.
Oh man,
it was just wrong. It was so bad, but I laughed so hard.
And yeah, my wife just like shakes her head whenever I start watching those. But I can watch 30 of them in a row.
Not man enough, not tough enough. Piss down your leg. Louisville just scored. Yeah. Everybody, whoever laid the 30, you're safe.
Good. Just gonna make a business decision. Dive at leg. He's great. The other recommendation was, I know y'all been watching the Monica American Crime Story thing, which I don't know if y'all finished it, but
I have.
Chase, a few weeks ago, you mentioned Game Change, just talking about the whole thing. And I remember a few years ago on the podcast, you mentioned not only Game Change, the book, but also The Politician by Andrew Young, that book about John Edwards and the whole scandal.
It is a completely fascinating book. It's really, really
good. That was one of the best politically based books I've ever read. Definitely. And then I want to encourage everybody kind of listening, even if you don't regularly listen to Mind on My Money, listen to the one that came out today with Neal and Martin, because the conversation y'all had where he talked about his dad and all that stuff, I thought was really great. Like, I thought you handled it really well. Like, y'all, let the moment kind of sink in and discussed it, and I just thought it was really poignant. I mean, that moment's like 14 minutes in. They should listen to the whole thing, but that particularly I thought was a really great discussion you had on Mind on My Money, even though it was really not as much to do with money, obviously.
Yeah, I was glad I didn't cry when he started crying. I was afraid I was going to. Yeah, it was. Yeah, sure, of course. I mean, he still misses his dad. Of course. I mean, I get it. I see those two boys on the soccer field all the time. You know, because Carson is on the same team with those kids, and one of them is a good bit older than Carson, so I have not really ever seen him play much till this year. But one's just a year older than Carson, so I've seen him play over the years, and just think about it. You know, you think about it all the time. Like, what's his life been like?
Right. Yeah. Anyway, it's a great podcast. Yeah. But I guess it's not appropriate for me to do a joke after.
No, you can do a joke. Joke might be good.
If you know, Baker or Lila, whoever's listening, if you know, tell your dad to speed it forward 30 seconds or something like that. It's a quick one.
Okay.
So it's a 2-question joke. I encourage everybody to use this next time you're talking to one of your friends. But it's not a little Johnny tonight. I'll think of another little Johnny one and call in sometime, maybe Saturday night. But anyway, the first question is, what has a very small dick and hangs down?
I don't know.
A bat. The next question is, what has a very big dick and hangs up?
I don't know.
Clever.
Very good.
Clever.
Very clever.
Okay. I'm impressed. That was good. That was good.
Yeah, it took a minute.
All right.
It's bet.brothrow.com/MPW. Bet.brothrow.com/MPW. It's a really cool, and seriously, no joke, it's a cool, fun way to bet. And that was a really good joke.
It was good. That's funny.
I love Little Johnny jokes, by the way.
You really do.
They crack me up. The one about him and the trains always makes me laugh every single time. Even though I've heard it probably 100 times, every time I hear it, I start laughing. That's really good. I should have seen that coming, but I didn't. I had no idea. That's good.
I didn't at all. Like, it just never even.
No. My mind was trying to think, and nope. That's good. Leif says Cut looks old. He does look old.
It's been a rough 2 years or so.
Well, he's had a long run. You know, it might be time to. People do the thing about what's he going to do? Is he going to become an analyst or whatever? I don't know. I mean, I'm going to guess that he's cool financially. I would not be surprised if he
hung it up.
Just kind of became a grandfather.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean moving to Oxford? It could.
Yeah.
But like, if you told me that David Cutcliffe moved to Oxford, I would guess that you would see him at OHS more than you would see him at
Ole Miss.
At Ole Miss.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, hang out with his son and
go out there and be a little volunteer.
Yeah, whatever.
Around.
I mean, yeah. Where you just, maybe work on some footwork with some sophomore quarterback who's trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
He'd probably enjoy that.
Yeah. Get back to the basic a little bit.
Yeah.
And just kind of hang out.
No pressure, whatever. Duke does do the uniform right.
Oh, they do not mess up the blue and white.
No, that uniform is that is absolute. Frankly, Chase, that is perfect.
You think that's perfect? We're good. Yeah.
I'm looking for a flaw, and I don't see one. I love the pant with the
I'd like a little less of a prominent stripe on the
pant. Okay, see, I like that pant.
You think even that thick of that
doesn't
wide?
bother me at all. Now, a thinner stripe would be fine, and I might like it more.
Might even be okay stripeless because of the shoulder stripes.
I love the helmet. The jersey is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
The jersey's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a great look. It's the perfect color combination.
And you would be fine on the road simply switching the blue and white on everything.
Yeah, but we're going with the white pant.
Still stick with the white pant.
Yeah, absolutely.
White on
Go
white.
all white. The kids would call that icy.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that a team that looks that good with the uniform could be down 33 points. But it's a hell of a look.
They might be down even more if they didn't have that look.
Oh, that's a good point. Someone says Brandon Walker's What's Wrong with America?
What do you do?
I don't know. People bring this up all the time. I'll ask you, do you think David Cutcliffe would have any impact at all on Arch Manning's recruiting?
Probably.
I have to guess not.
I mean, saying literal zero is hard to say, but
Sure.
enough to swing a decision, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And frankly, I don't think David wants to get into a position to do that.
I wouldn't think.
I mean,
how old is David? 64?
67.
67. I would guess he wants to kick back a little bit. I don't know what other hobbies he has, but I would guess he wants to chill a bit. Yeah, Jeffrey always says, look good, feel good, play good. A lot of truth to it.
He's making 2,669 right now.
2,669. So basically 2.7.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
If I made 2.7, I could put some back.
Yeah, he's probably all right.
They say he ruins the Barstool College Football podcast because he's such a homer.
It's 4 children.
David does?
Mm-hmm.
I know Chris lives here. Do you know where the others live? Yeah, I don't pay attention to Brandon, but I tend to agree with Cole. My guess is that he knows he's kind of playing a role. Hey, who do we have?
What's going on, guys?
Who's this?
Tommy.
It's Tommy.
Hey, Tommy. I'm sorry. How are you, Tommy? Hey, thanks for the hats.
Oh, man, you're welcome. Y'all look good in them, too.
We did. Yeah.
Yeah, y'all rocked them. Oh, man. Well, Ole Miss got a bunch of paranoid fans, don't they?
Yeah, I think everybody kind of does. Like I've heard Tennessee paranoia. I've heard Oklahoma paranoia today. It's one of those deals where if you think there's even a chance that the girl's going to leave you, you get paranoid.
Yeah. Well, sometimes if she leaves you, it's a good thing. But I don't want Lane to leave. But I mean, sometimes if the girl leaves you, it's a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, look,
saves you a lot of money.
Again, I mean, at the risk of being repetitive, I don't think anything's going to come of it. But if it does, there's nothing you can do about it. And if he were to leave, it's not because Ole Miss did something wrong. Just he left because he wanted to leave.
Well, I mean, Miami pays Manny Diaz like $3 million a year. I mean,
yeah, no,
I don't think they can afford Lane Kiffin.
See, I tend to agree. Now, here's the one thing I'm going to say.
I think they're going up. I don't know to what.
Chase and I talked about this morning, and this is where you have to be careful with definitive comments. Like, I'm not plugged into Miami football. Neither is Chase. I don't know. Maybe somebody has come in and gone, hey, look, get it done. I'll take care of it. Is that possible? Sure. Do I know that to be happen? Do I know that to have happened? I don't. I mean, do I think it's likely that they're going to go from paying a coach $3 million to paying a coach $6.7? I don't. Is it possible? Sure. I don't know. I mean, you're going to find out. I mean, look, if Miami wants Lane Kiffin, they're going to have to really ante up.
They are. I mean, I'm thinking about around $8.5 million probably, because it's not as good as a school. What's Miami like as far as what the school's worth? What are they, like 44th on the list? Ole Miss is somewhere around 21st, 22nd.
That list Neal had, Ole Miss was like 23rd, 22nd.
Let me see if I still have that.
And Miami's way down at like 42, 43, something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find that.
They're not putting the money in there.
Here we go.
They're not. People keep thinking, Ole Miss fans especially, they keep thinking about this is the Miami job from 1992. It's not.
All right. So this is Wall Street Journal. This is 2018 value, okay? So it started at 21. Oregon's 21, followed by Ole Miss, Southern Cal, UCLA, Arizona State's 25, followed by Clemson, Florida State, Virginia Tech, Kansas State, Oklahoma State is 30. Again, this is Wall Street Journal. 31 is Kentucky. followed by Minnesota, Texas Tech, Stanford, and Mississippi State at 35. Georgia Tech, Utah, Colorado, Kansas, Cal Berkeley is 40. So we're still looking for Miami.
They're next, 41.
Oh. Miami is 41, right ahead of Texas Christian.
Miami is valued at $193 million, and whatever that is. Ole Miss is at $341 million.
So it's a significant difference.
They can't afford what we can, and I think there's a lot of overlooking the fact that is Lane Kiffin really going to go down there and put up with Ed Reed? Deion Sanders probably could. Lane Kiffin can't.
Well, that's the other thing.
He's very. I'll say energetic is nice.
The other
passionate
thing
is nice.
Yeah,
but he's not going to go down there and be able to put up with Ed Reed in his face all the time.
Well, the other thing about Lane's deal at Ole Miss is that as of today, Ole Miss doesn't make Lane Kiffin be here a lot in the offseason. They're pretty lenient with, you want to go down to Boca for a month? Go. I don't know. Like, I don't know how all that works at other places. Listen, I don't know. I mean, and I said this on the podcast yesterday. I'm going to repeat it again today. If I'm Ole Miss and I pay Lane Kiffin, what number do y'all want to go with? 7.5?
Sure.
If I pay
7.5.
Okay, if I pay Lane Kiffin $7.5 million, I'm like, now listen, I'm expecting $7.5 million worth of results.
Yeah.
Which are substantial. They're top 10.
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting those.
That means Access Bowl.
Yeah, so I expect you to recruit at that level. I expect you to get it done. I mean, that's a different conversation. And that's where you start getting into some of this, the parts of this that I don't know the answers to. And neither does Chase, and quite frankly, neither does anybody. It's why I'm really skeptical of the Slater Scoops guy. Not that there's anything wrong with that cat. He might be great. But when he goes multiple sources close to Lane Kiffin, I'm like, I'm not sure there are multiple sources close to Lane Kiffin.
There's one more little fact that nobody's looking at. Matt Corral and Lane Kiffin kind of saved each other here. He ain't got no Matt Corral down there at Miami. Now, he's got the clout to get, a fine quarterback over here at Ole Miss, but he ain't got nothing at quarterback down there. They ain't had a quarterback in years.
Yeah. No, I listen, I know. I mean,
you can't run that offensive lanes without a quarterback.
Right.
I mean, you got to have a quarterback, and they're not really exactly known for their quarterbacks. What's the last good one? Jim Kelly?
At Miami?
Jim Kelly? Was it?
Wasn't Dorsey?
Well, no, you got Dorsey, Gino
Dorsey was
Torretta.
there. Yeah.
I mean, there's been dudes.
Testaverde.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, Mark Richt couldn't win down there, and Mark Richt was 10 seconds away from winning a national title. If he beats Alabama in that SEC championship game, Mark Richt dominates Notre Dame in the national title game, and he couldn't win down there.
Yeah, that's for sure.
The day Aaron Murray fell down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Tommy, thanks for the call.
Just tell everybody just to calm down a little bit.
All right, I'm going to tell them.
You just did.
Tommy said calm down.
Hey, Neal, who won between ULM and Liberty this year?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. ULM won that game by 3 points. They kicked
shit.
Yeah, absolutely. ULM kicked a field goal to win that game. They sure did. They beat Liberty in football. Liberty's coach was Hugh Freeze.
Oh, hell.
Yeah, happened.
All right, you guys have a good night.
All right, see you. Hey, who do we have?
Hey, it's Lee.
Hey, Lee.
Hey, I had 2 points. We've been out at dinner, just got back, but I'm sure you discussed the Lane stuff at a lot of detail. But, we came up from Florida last week for the game, and I'd like to hear your thoughts, man. Like, I feel like the hardest part about getting people to the stadium that don't live within an hour of there, which is really not a lot of people, is just lodging, man. Like, is there a secret code I'm missing about getting, there's no hotels, there's Airbnbs, or if they're even available, they're off the charts expensive. Yeah. I know you guys have hit on that before, but, like, the atmosphere was really good in the stadium. I have been to, 3 games since I graduated, and, 20 years ago, but it was really fun. I mean, there's a fair amount, there are a handful of empty seats, like you saw. It was probably 95% full, but it's such a challenge to get people in there to spend a weekend if you have to drive more than like 3 hours, 4 hours, and we drove 7. But man, just lodging and I don't know. I just kind of was curious, like, am I missing something, or what options do you think they have other than making the stadium smaller and louder? Is kind of what I was just kind of wondering to hear your thoughts. And I know you guys have hit on that a time or two before, but
I mean, from a consumer standpoint, you've got to book way ahead. If you wait till the last minute to book something, it's going to be rough. I mean, you got to plan.
I mean, you're talking about
ahead.
winning at an even higher clip. You're talking about anything they can do around the weekend to try to help with making it more of an event versus just coming for a game. That makes a little bit of difference. But look, I mean, I don't remember the numbers. I'll get them for the show. I mean, I've heard going around that somebody figured out like Ole Miss's population within like 100 miles or like whatever the limit was, and it's like 64th in the country. I mean, it's a very small group you're pulling from a local crowd standpoint. I mean, some of it just kind of is what it is the number. There's things you can do to help, but it's not there's not some perfect answer here.
Oh yeah, no, our neighbors are big Georgia people, and we were like, I always pictured Athens as a similar college town to Ole Miss, and we pulled the population, and I think Athens is almost 100,000 people.
Yeah.
And they did too. They thought of Oxford the same way. I've never been to Athens, but I think Oxford and Starkville are by far the 2 least populated towns. But I mean, great weekend. I just, and by the way, I don't see Kiffin going. I think there is no way he can. I mean, we're just. I don't know. I'll have to rewind and listen to you guys later tonight. But again, I'm sure you discussed it at great lengths. But dear goodness, talking about lateral at best, I don't even see how that doesn't make sense. Maybe Clemson, maybe Florida State, but I would never think Miami.
Hey, thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Yep, appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Is that right about the?
Yes, 160.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
For the cover?
Yeah. Hey, I don't blame him. People will want to pay.
No. I don't blame him. We're in the wrong business.
Yeah. Correct.
Hey, who do we have?
Hey, this is Holmes up in Clarksville, Tennessee. How y'all doing?
Hey, Holmes.
Well, all these people freaking out about Kiffin. It's pretty hysterical, and Jimmy Sexton is a genius. Just because the more we win, the better he's going to do. But anyway, that's not what I'm calling. A couple of things about. I graduated in 2015 and was a season ticket holder for forever. Still am. I don't go to many games anymore just because of COVID and because I learned I can have 3 teams on and drink as much whiskey as I want, eat as much food as I want, and then when everything's done, turn to another game. But do you guys think that's what's hurting our attendance a lot?
Yeah, I think that's part of it, for sure. I think there were people who normally went to games who, because of the COVID year, either didn't or couldn't go to games, and they experienced it a different way, and there's no question that some people said, hey, this is awesome, and it's a lot cheaper.
Right. I'm definitely one of them.
Yeah, and at the end of the year, they had more money for Christmas, and, look, I mean, there's a commitment, right, to spending a weekend, whether it's Oxford or Knoxville or, Athens or wherever, Auburn, whatever. There's a commitment where you have to get in the car and drive 4+ hours someplace, spend the night, stay in a hotel. You got to pay for restaurants. You got to fight crowds. You got to do all that stuff. And, little Johnny gets tired of it. I mean, I've mentioned this. I was at the Arkansas-Mississippi State game, and the guy in front of me, his little girl was with him. I would guess she was, 4. And in the first quarter, she goes, "Can we go home?" I mean, so it's yeah. And I mean, and she braved it out and she stuck through it. But, the point is it easier to watch the game at home on HD and be able to flip between, or even, listen, you can even hit the pause button And if you aren't following along on Twitter, you can catch up. I mean, there's so many. There's a lot of options. It's why when you talk to people at the college level or the pro level, they'll tell you that moving forward, you've got to create creature comforts that accommodate young people who've lived their entire lives online. And
right.
You know, I mean, there's no doubt about that. So yeah, is it? It's just it's different. There's a lot of people that went to games either now don't go, or instead of buying season tickets, they go, you know, I'll pick one game or two games a year and I'll buy tickets for that game. I'll buy from a friend. I'll buy off SeatGeek or StubHub or Ticketmaster or whatnot and go from there.
Yeah, and I mean, I made a ton of money selling my tickets to A&M this past weekend. And, you know, and then I watched it on my own TV, and I had 2 other games on. It was actually fantastic, and I loved it. I was throwing ribs.
Mm-hmm. No, I get it.
But what were you saying?
I just said, yeah, I understand it. I get it completely.
But, you know, I'm still a diehard fan, and, you know, I love going to games. But LSU game, you know, and I'm young. I'm only 28. But the LSU game, you know, it's getting into the Grove, shoulder to shoulder with all these young kids forever. And then, you know, setting up, can't hardly walk or move. Get to the game, you know, you want to get the beer. And, you know, I bring my own whiskey in the games. But even when I do want to get a beer or finish the whiskey, it takes like 15, 20 minutes. It's kind of a pain. Got to, you know, get back to your seats in time. And by that time, you've missed a ton of the game. So that's just kind of where I'm at, where it's just like, do I really want to, you know, struggle with all the hassle of it and then drive all the way back? And I'm 4 hours. But that was part of my reasoning. And I think it's also part of the fact, too, is that we have Ole Miss has a ton of out-of-state students. So it's not like an hour drive like you were saying.
Hey, thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you got little kids,
almost every time slot's a problem.
It's much easier from home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you get a babysitter, and then that's not cheap.
Mm-mm.
What's the going rate on a babysitter now? $20 an hour?
For game weekends, if you want them back every time, yeah, you better pay that.
Yeah.
For sure. That's the find one and don't lose them.
Yeah.
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 Make it real easy.
You pay them 10 an hour, they're not coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta. It's a supply and demand issue. It's one of the coaches' wives is aware of.
I wasn't even going to go there.
Yeah, it's fine.
All sorts of little inside shots.
Just not even really a shot, just running thing. Every
Yeah,
week.
yeah. $160 for a cover.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so we'll be back on Saturday night. We'll have this up in podcast form tomorrow. There's a lot of content on the show. The 3-hour MPW Digital pregame show is up. Chase and I taped a soft verbal podcast that was 45 minutes of pretty hardcore recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
For the two of us, it was really hardcore recruiting. Butcher versus the Spin Instructor is up. Mind on My Money is up. So there's a lot of content for you guys. Picks are up. I'll have something on basketball in a little bit. I got to go find it. Yeah, and Ole Miss plays basketball tomorrow. Do you know the time on that yet?
No, I haven't.
Has that been announced?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll look real quick to see before we bail. I'll see if that's out. Is anyone interested at all in 2025 offers? Kids from Carson's class?
No one.
It just can't be. I mean, I appreciate the information, but there's just no way anybody really cares. I'll find that. I'll get it to you on rebelgrove.com. Thanks for being with us. Appreciate you making us a part of your week. We'll be back with you on Saturday night, post-game, Ole Miss and Vanderbilt, 6:30. So we'll be up hopefully 9:30 or so. And we'll talk to Jeffrey. We'll talk to Brian. We'll take your calls on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. Until then, for Chase, I'm Neal. Take care.